only model trains with Magne-Traction, proudly present the Joe DiMaggio Show. Starring the Yankee Clipper Joe DiMaggio himself with Jack Barry.
Well, how about telling the story about the young friend of yours and the dream he had that came true?
Well, yes, Joe, it's a wonderful story, and I'll bet that all of our club members have had the same dream at one time or another. Well, Tommy knew exactly what he wanted for Christmas. He wanted an electric train. He had the whole thing in his mind, even to the table where he was going to set it up. Sitting there at the table, he could picture the whole thing, and he would dream so hard that the whole thing would come to life right before his eyes. Of course, Tommy was a pretty strong wisher, and what he started wishing for was a pretty fancy-looking train set with locomotive and freight cars, and the station and the gateman, the water tower, and all kinds of wonderful equipment and accessories. So grand that you might think Tommy was wishing for something that just didn't exist. But Tommy knew what he was wishing for. And sure enough, on Christmas morning, Tommy's dream came true. Because Tommy had told his father that he wanted Lionel. Just the low-priced Lionel Scout train set with a few Lionel accessories. Yes, even the simplest of Lionel train sets and track layouts is a wonderful, thrilling, complete model railroad. That's because it's made by Lionel. Lionel, the originator of the electric model train, makers of the most realistic, scale-detailed model train equipment. Lionel, the only model train with Magne-Traction. So boys, if you're wishing for a model railroad for Christmas, and I know you are, be sure to tell your dad you want a Lionel railroad, because Lionel gives you the most real-looking trains and accessories, which are the most fun for all.
And now, fellas, we've got something
Films on dog obedience. And now for some more fun, suppose we take another look in on our Lionel engineer.
Now, boys, I'm going to show you why Lionel trains are better. I'm going to show you how carefully they're made, and how well they're put together, and how they operate. For example, look at the head of this typical Lionel locomotive. The smoke box door hinges, pilot steps, the uncoupling rod. They're exactly duplicated. And see how this drop coupler and air hose are simulated. And notice these handrails of stainless steel. And now look at the steam valves and side gears. Every part is modeled to the most minute detail. Now look at these wheels. They're all steel, mind you, and have a high adhesion surface, better traction. And of course, they also have Magne-Traction. That's a magnetic force that holds the wheels to the rails to give you increased power, higher speed, and more climb. Fellas, these are just a few of the details that show you how Lionel trains are made better and put together better so that they will look better and operate better. And speaking of Magne-Traction, I know you boys want to learn more about this new development in model railroading. So we've made up this book on Magne-Traction called The Magic of Magne-Traction. It tells you what it is and how it works, and it's packed full of pictures and information to help you to have more fun with your model railroad. Now, all you have to do to get this free book is send your name and address to Joe DiMaggio. That's Joe DiMaggio, care of the Lionel Corporation, 15 East 26th Street, New York, 10, New York.
And by the way, boys, you can get a complete Lionel train set, locomotive, tender, cars, track, and transformer for as little as $14.95. Larger Lionel sets are moderately priced, too. And they all have Magne-Traction. And now, folks, this is Joe.